Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
7 days later, Zane Martel recovered from most of his injuries and restored his vital energy. He left the Tiger Earth Cave, intending to explore its core. But with Nectar Blaine taken away and concerns about the Eastern Palm, he decided it could wait until the war was over. As Zane Martel flew through the air, a sound came from his storage ring.
Is there any movement? What is it?
He stopped and took out the identity token of the Five Spirit sect from his storage ring. His eyes lit up as a voice emanated from within the medallion. All the disciples of the Five Spirit sect who have gone to the Great Prairie must gather in Lotus City. An illusion of a map of Lotus City appeared before him.
Finally. It seems that the senior brothers and others have succeeded, and there is also a map which is not far from my current position.
He rose to the sky and disappeared into the horizon. Lotus City, a massive city on the outskirts of Eastern Prairie, was built by the Seven Kingdoms Alliance to accommodate millions of people and stand guard against Eastern Palm's invasions. Normally, it was sparsely populated, but now it was bustling with millions of human practitioners. Half a day later, Zane Martel arrived, flying above Lotus City. He saw a formation encircling the city, and more than 20 disciples in the ensembles of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance standing at the gate. Outside the city gate, a rough-looking man asked,
"Which sect are you from? When will you arrive? Take out your identification token."
I am Aramis from the Central Lake sect of Havenfield. This is my identity token.
Aramis showed his token.
Okay, you're good to go.
The interrogation continued. Zane Martel landed and walked straight to the gate, immediately stopped by a large man.
You! I'm calling you. Who are you? Show me your identity token, or...
Before he could finish, an aura of an intermediate-level stage practitioner surged from Zane Martel's body. The man's face changed, his eyes filled with fear.
So it's you, senior brother. Where are you from? Could you please show me your token? It's the rules.
Zane Martel snorted, knowing the strength hierarchy. He threw the token to the man, who, recognizing his authority, checked it without being too impudent.
Okay, senior brother, you're clear. You can enter now.
The large man invited Zane Martel politely, but Zane Martel had questions.
Let me ask you, where is the headquarters of the Five Spirit sect? What is the specific situation of the two armies now?
The large man, not daring to be presumptuous, bent his body slightly and revealed everything he knew.
There are a lot of people in Lotus City now. It's complicated. To ease management, the seven sects stationed people in different places. I remember that the people of the Five Spirit sect were placed at Western Manor in the northeast of Lotus City.
Zane Martel's mind raced with possibilities as he processed the information, his path now clear, but fraught with the unknown.
I don't know much about the battle as they are classified secrets. Small fries like us know nothing about them. Senior brother, there is a rule in Lotus City that you can't fly, so you may have to walk there.
Not allowed to fly.
Lotus City was massive, and it would take half a day to fly to Weston Manor. He ignored the man and walked straight in. The scene in front of him was shocking. It was lively and prosperous. Disciples wearing various sects' clothes came and went on the street, shoulders rubbing. Various stalls lined both sides of the street. Members of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance marketed their products, attracting customers. At a glance, most were in the foundation level, with only a small portion above it. There were no body-tempering stage practitioners in sight. They were likely left at their sects to cultivate. Occasionally, strange-looking demonic beasts pulled ornate carriages along the streets, giving Zane Martel an eye-opener. He rushed to Weston Manor in the northeast. Due to the forbidden air formation of Lotus City, no one could fly unless they were above the advanced level. It was a long journey, but Zane Martel finally arrived at Weston Manor. Weston Manor was vast, like a small mountain. Disciples stood on both sides of the main entrance. Recognizing Zane Martel's attire, they hurried over.
Senior brother, have you just arrived in Lotus City?
That's right. Is everyone in Weston Manor now? How many people has the sect sent?
Some senior brothers went to lively places in the city. After all, such a gathering of the seven major sects is rare, but most are on standby in the villa. There are about 30,000 people in Weston Manor now.
More than 30,000 means half of the strength of the Five Spirit sect.
Zane Martel nodded quietly. Walking in, he had to admit the manor could accommodate 30,000 people. The scale of this battle was indeed large. The other sects likely sent similar numbers. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed in front of him, running toward the exit. 4 men appeared behind the shadow.
Hurry up, catch him. Don't let him escape. I spent a lot of money to buy this.
Oh my God, isn't this Kylan Bloodbeast a bit too violent? It broke free.
When they saw Zane Martel, they were overjoyed and hurriedly commanded him.
Hey, stop that Kylan Bloodbeast. Hurry up.
Zane Martel frowned. Instead of stopping the beast, he made way for it to escape.
What are you doing? How dare you let go of my Kylan Bloodbeast, you idiot.
The leader at the 4th stage of the intermediate level, like Zane Martel, glared angrily. The people around him sneered.
That one from the Academy. How dare you offend Senior Brother Grodd of the White Wolf Academy? Ha ha ha. You must be tired of living.
This kid is going to get into big trouble. He probably just arrived in Lotus City and doesn't know anything about offending Grodd.
That's right. Grodd is well known for his short temper in Weston Manor. I'm afraid he'll be in big trouble.
The commotion soon drew a crowd. They chattered nonstop.
Neil, apologize to me and capture my Kylan Bloodbeast, and I might let you go. Or I will break your legs now.
Zane Martel stood firm, the weight of the situation settling in. What would he do next? The tension was palpable and the stakes were high. When Zane Martel saw Grodd's reaction, he couldn't help but sneer. How dare someone at the 4th stage of the intermediate level talk to him like this? Zane Martel admired his courage.
I'm not interested. Catch it yourself if you want it back. I don't have time, so don't bother me.
Zane Martel ignored Grodd and went straight ahead. The people around were very surprised, covering their mouths and exclaiming,
"Who is he? How dare he disobey Grodd's words? Does he want to die? Ha ha, I didn't expect Grodd would have such a day. I'm afraid he will lose control in a bit."
I can't stand such humiliation, let alone Grodd. Why hasn't Grodd made a move yet?
Grodd was completely infuriated by Zane Martel. He spat out slowly.
Nice. Nicely done. Since that's the case, I'll break your legs now and let you crawl back.
As he spoke, he flew into a rage. His 5 fingers formed claws and slashed at Zane Martel at full force and speed. A figure flew out of the dust and fell to the ground. It wasn't Zane Martel, it was Grodd. His arm was deformed, blood oozed out, and bones were visible in the pool of blood. He kept rolling back and forth, screaming miserably.
Ah, my hand, how dare you!
The people around were dumbfounded. One move, he took down Grodd in one move. Zane Martel's movements were so fast that they did not even see his action.
Heavens, such terrifying strength at the 4th stage of the intermediate level. Who is this person?
Don't tell me he's pretending to be weak by lowering his cultivation.
Grodd, I never thought I'd see you in this state. It feels so good.
Is this person crazy? Doesn't he know who's behind Grodd? He can't live a good life in the Weston Manor in the future.
Zane Martel walked over, glanced at Grodd on the ground and said with a poker face,
"Can I leave now?"
You can't go.
Grodd grabbed Zane Martel's leg and cried out in pain. However, Zane Martel ignored him and kicked him. Grodd collided with the mountain beside him and fainted. Just as Zane Martel was about to leave, a loud and clear voice sounded.
Who's causing trouble?
As soon as the words fell, he saw an illusion of a fist coming straight at him, emitting horrible energy fluctuations.
It's Eric Helm. He's here. Get out of the way or we'll get hurt.
Run.
As soon as the onlookers saw the fist shadow, they became frightened and hurried to dodge in all directions. Eric Helm was like a demonic god to them, even more terrifying than Grodd.
Eric Helm?
Zane Martel was stunned, but the fist shadow had already arrived in front of him. He threw out a punch and collided with the fist shadow. As the sound rang out, the ground cracked and sank half a meter. After being hit by such a powerful force, Zane Martel felt a slight numbness in his arm. He sighed to himself.
What a great strength. Is this Eric Helm the same person as the one I know?
However, the other party did not give him a chance to think. He leaped into the air, crossed the void, left a strike of red in the air, and launched dozens of saber radiance. Seeing this, Zane Martel struck out dozens of rows of sword energy, which offset all the saber radiance.
Is it Eric Helm? It's me. Don't you know me?
Zane Martel had just opened his mouth when he was interrupted by the other party.
So you still have some strength. It just so happens that I'm bored. So kill some time with me.
After that, a violent force and a sense of oppression surged over and condensed on the war saber. The clash was inevitable, and the stakes were higher than ever. What would happen next? The answer lay just ahead. A dazzling golden light gathered around the saber. A 5-meter-long saber radiance swept over with great momentum. At this time, the people around realized the danger and fled in all directions, screaming for help.
Stop, Eric Helm. There are innocent people here.
Don't hurt us. Take your fight somewhere else.
Seeing this, Zane Martel frowned and whispered,
Bronze body.
An ancient bronze-colored light and vigorous power came from his body. He punched and shattered the saber radiance. The horrible remaining power rushed to Eric Helm. Eric Helm stumbled back more than 10 meters before he stopped. However, the fighting spirit in his eyes became even stronger as he laughed out loud.
Right. Good. It's been a long time since someone has defeated me. I'm going to have some fun today.
Just as he was about to strike again, Zane Martel's figure flashed, and he came behind Eric Helm in a ghostly manner. A slap landed on Eric Helm's head. The damage was not big, but it was humiliating.
What are you doing? Want to die? All right.
He turned his head. He was stunned when he saw Zane Martel. Eric Helm, who was frowning a moment ago, immediately smiled and said excitedly,
Zane Martel, why are you here? This is great. I did not expect to meet you here.
When the others heard Zane Martel's name, they felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They all held their breath and cried out in shock.
Zane Martel? He's Zane Martel? No wonder he is so strong.
He was the one who wiped out the entire Titan Academy while at the Foundation level and was accepted into Azure Dragon Academy. He's a legend.
Oh my god, I was insulting him just now. Will he kill me?
Eric Helm isn't mad after being treated like that. He must be the real deal.
Zane Martel was shocked to feel Eric Helm's vigorous vital energy. Eric Helm had reached the 4th stage of the intermediate level. Zane Martel's cultivation speed was so fast because of his heaven-defying natural luck. Not only did he possess the dragon spirit body, but he also had the dragon prison and the devouring dragon technique. With the help of a large number of elixirs, his cultivation improved so fast. After some time, Eric Helm had caught up with him. Judging from the reaction of the people, Eric Helm must be quite prestigious. It seemed that when Zane Martel was not around, Eric Helm had made a name for himself in the sect. Eric Helm rubbed his head and smiled as if he had noticed Zane Martel's surprised gaze.
Ha ha ha. I went to look for you after you disappeared in the Blood Demon Basin, but I didn't find you. I accidentally found a cave residence of a powerful figure. Only after inheriting his mantle did my strength improve so much.
I see.
Zane Martel nodded. No wonder Eric Helm was able to fight back with him. Although he had not used his full strength, this kind of strength was one of the best in the Azure Dragon Academy.
Right, Zane Martel. Have you just arrived at Lamont City? Have you been assigned to a residence?
No, I'm going to register now.
Hearing this, Eric Helm laughed and placed his arm on Zane Martel's shoulder.
Let's go! Let's go to my room. There is a shortage of rooms in the Weston Manor, so a few disciples have to share a dormitory. There happened to be a space in my room. Let's go! Tell me what you've been through during this time.
He was very enthusiastic, and Zane Martel did not refuse. The two of them chatted as they walked, sharing their experiences. The two of them chatted happily. Zane Martel had not seen his friends from the Azure Dragon Academy for a long time, so he was very excited to talk about them.
By the way, did the Seven Kingdoms Alliance send their troops so quickly because Deputy Quinn and Paul Tango brought the news back?
Eric Helm was stunned and said in confusion,
I don't think so. We heard it from the Devil Flame sect, and I was shocked when I got the news. Why did you ask? Could Eastern Palm be the reason Deputy Quinn's soul was destroyed?
What did you say? Deputy Quinn's soul has been destroyed?
Zane Martel's eyes widened in disbelief. That meant Deputy Quinn was caught and killed by the people from Eastern Palm on his way back to the Seven Kingdoms Alliance. That day, they took action separately, as there were two martial arts practitioners from Eastern Palm chasing after Deputy Quinn. Deputy Quinn was capable and fast. Logically speaking, no one could catch up to him. Could it be that something had happened along the way? At the thought of Deputy Quinn's death, Zane Martel couldn't help feeling depressed. Eric Helm saw Zane Martel's expression and comforted him.
Zane Martel, don't think too much. Blame the war. His death has nothing to do with you.
I know. The world of martial artists is heaven-defying. It's very normal to die on the way. Hence, we have to constantly improve ourselves.
Zane Martel nodded in agreement. He was more determined in continuing his journey as a martial artist. He swore to kill the people who had killed Deputy Quinn and Paul Tango one day. He would avenge them. Even if Brad abandoned him, he would have to settle the score. Soon they came to Eric Helm's room. Although the room was not big, it had everything they needed. There was a shortage of places in Weston Manor. Apart from martial practitioners above the advanced level, everyone else had to share a room with someone else. Inside the room, 2 were at the intermediate level and 6 were at the foundation level. After Eric Helm arranged everything for Zane Martell, it was 3 hours later. He brought Zane Martell out, wanting to show him around Lotus City. The two of them chatted as they walked. After Eric Helm gave Zane Martell a general explanation, Zane Martell had a general understanding of the current situation in Lotus City. All countries in the Eastern Palm Dynasty had crossed Eastern Prairie and invaded the territory of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance. The 7 sects of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance had all sent men over to join the war. There was even a peerless master in the advanced level present.
Every sect sent out a different number of people, but most of them sent 30,000 men. In addition, there were also rebels and soldiers from the imperial court. These soldiers didn't have high levels of cultivation and were only at the foundation level. However, there were almost 1 million of them. They gathered in the central area of Lotus City. To stop the invasion of Eastern Palm and test the military situation, the Seven Kingdoms Alliance had sent a vanguard team to set off 3 days ago. The group consisted of more than 100 intermediate-level practitioners and an advanced-level practitioner. They hid and ambushed their enemies. Although the mission had been completed, they had suffered heavy losses. Less than 10 intermediate-level practitioners had returned safely. However, the enemy's losses were even more severe. They won the first battle against Eastern Palm, which boosted their morale.
The most lively place in Lotus City was the Spring Wine Villa in the central area. Soldiers, whether from the sects or commoners, had set up tents inside and began to sell or trade all kinds of intelligence materials. One could find anything there. When they arrived at the entrance of Spring Wine Villa, 2 strong men of the intermediate level stopped them and said,
"If you want to enter, you have to buy the ticket. One costs 200 crystals."
We need a ticket to enter?
Doka sect of the Brighton Kingdom developed the Spring Wine Villa into a commercial center. They set the rules that everyone had to buy tickets to enter.
Following the customs, the 2 paid and walked in. The scene was eye-opening for Zane Martell. Although the prosperous street was not big, there were people from various sects coming and going. Various stalls were on both sides of the street, selling all kinds of genuine energy artifact. Behind the stall was a relatively large shop, which was also very lively. Occasionally, they would be able to see 1 or 2 pet shops selling demonic beasts. They would use special iron cages to imprison the demonic beasts.
Haha. Zane Martell, what do you think? Isn't Spring Wine Villa lively?
It is. By the way, Eric Helm, do you bring me here to buy something?
Yes, I've reserved a set of formations. It just so happens I can take them today.
Eric Helm brought Zane Martell into one of the shops. As soon as they entered, he called the shop assistant over and said,
"Hello, is my custom-made formation ready?"
Senior Eric Helm, it's done.
Taking advantage of this gap, Zane Martell wandered around the shop. Although this shop was small, it had a variety of goods. There were elixirs, cultivation methods, weapons, formations, and even demonic beast eggs. One of the thumb-sized things attracted Zane Martell's attention. He walked over and picked it up. With a gentle pinch, he felt the softness of the hornet, nest-like thing, and it seemed like it would crush in an instant.
Fire wasp? What is the use of this nest?
So have you taken a fancy to the fire wasp's nest?
Fire wasp was a type of foundation-level demonic beast. They were not strong and usually appeared in groups. Their numbers ranged from a few hundred of them to tens of thousands of them. He read about it in a book that people had used such bug-type demonic beasts to slaughter an entire city. In just one night, the demonic beast killed millions of people in a city. Although it was just a mortal with its current strength, it could do it as long as it wanted and not be too bloody. They are strong demonic insects, so Zane Martell had always been interested in them. However, he owned an elemental pather and Bo Thompson, so he had not thought about getting demonic insects.
I was just taking a look.
On the other side, Eric Helm had already got his things and came over.
It's rare for you to come here. Don't you want to buy something?
I do have something that I want. Do you sell divine concentrating steel and demonic blood essence here?
Yes, we do, sir. We don't have divine concentrating steel, but we have the blood essence of demonic beasts. What demonic beasts do you want, and how many do you want?